everybody, welcome to my top 50 coasters in the world prediction part 1. Part 2 should be coming tomorrow, but I had to split it into two videos. Remember, this is just my opinion, and if you didn't see my previous video, which was basically a disclaimer for this video, go check it out. Rides that were higher 2 years ago will drop because of new coasters being built. Now, I've only ridden 6 of the coasters that are on here, so you can give your opinions, but this isn't 2018 anymore. Leaving dislikes because of top coasters in the world predictions are very stupid, but we've got a long way to go, so I'm going to stop the talking and get into the countdown. I want to shout out Wrath of Zeus, the new for 2020 Vekoma Firestorm that opened. I had it on this list and made it an honorable mention instead. This ride looks amazing, and I don't know why more people don't talk about this. It looks like a world-class Vekoma. But the actual number 50 is the Smiler at Alton Towers. This might seem high, but this has been my number one bucket list coaster since 2016, and I've always been obsessed with this coaster. I've never ranked it this high in one of my lists before, so congrats to the Smiler on moving up in my rankings. I've realized how much I love its theming, and sometimes you just need a good story and theme to carry the ride. The ride itself looks awesome though, too. I mean, it has the world record 14 versions. This thing just looks insane. Number 49 is Terran at Phantasialand. This is another fantastic coaster that wouldn't be nearly as good without the theming. It's one of the top themed coasters in the entire world. It's got launches, airtime, intensity. It's got a whole lot of things you need to create an excellent roller coaster. You don't need height. This is one of the coasters that proves that. Number 48 is Outlaw Run at Silver Dollar City. This coaster looks like such a fun time. The first drop, the airtime, the aversions, the pacing, the scenery, everything looks great. It is a very short ride though, which does prevent this from being any higher. I really wouldn't be shocked though if it ended up being top 30 if I rode all these. It looks like a blast. Number 47 is Ride of Steel. I'm gonna combine the two, even though the one at Darien Lake is more than likely better. This ride is fantastic. It's world class, and I don't understand the hate it gets. It has great airtime and it's very intense. However, Taylor has never raved to the point where it was top 25 for him, so there's never been hype created. Trust me though, great drop, great fun, great coaster. Number 46 is Nitro at Six Flags Great Adventure. B&M hypers are really tough to judge without riding them because Candymonium is considered a top hyper, but it's definitely not in the top 100 in the world for me, I can tell you that. If I get some room on it, it'll be great. It has some serious potential. If the floater connects like it does in Diamondback, then I know I'll be in for a treat. Hopefully I'm not jinxing it, but I'll finally get the opportunity to ride it this year. I can't wait. Speaking of Diamondback, that's what number 45 is. It executes the floater airtime very well. I got so much room. The first drop is absolutely incredible. The splashdown adds an awesome effect to an already awesome ride as well. I don't have any complaints about this coaster. It's got a decent length to it, it's comfortable, and has insane airtime. I was shocked to rank it so high once I got off of it for the first time, but it is seriously that good. Number 44 is Mako at SeaWorld Orlando. This is yet another B&M hypercoaster. I'm thinking the airtime will be the same as Diamondback's, and if not, very similar. I'm really setting myself up for disappointment on this one, but if it's as good as everyone says it is, I better get floater airtime for days. I better get it for weeks. It does look very good. I'm hoping it'll at least meet my expectations, and I think 44 is a pretty fair spot for Mako. Number 43 is Goliath at Six Flags Over Georgia. This is also a B&M hyper and one of the shorter ones as well. But that doesn't stop it from looking like a top tier hyper. The drop looks really good, the airtime looks really great, and the whole ride looks really fantastic. I would love to ride it this year, we'll see. Spoiler alert, it does look like the best coaster in the park. Number 42 is Goliath at Wallaby Holland. Another spoiler alert, this does barely look like the best coaster named Goliath. And by barely, that was only a one spot difference. This ride is an intimate mega, so of course it will have some awesome airtime and an intense ride. This has been underhyped in my eyes recently. It's always been a little underhyped. It looks like an awesome roller coaster. Number 41 is Colossus Compter Gigantin at Hyde Park. This is an intimate prefabricated roller coaster, so you know the airtime is going to be world class. And the first drop is probably sick in the back. The theming added to it shouldn't hurt it as well. Taylor didn't get to ride it, so people are still confused on what to think about it. This is going to be a top coaster in Germany for sure in my eyes. Number 40 is Storm Chaser at Kentucky Kingdom. This looks like an amazing RMC in the middle of downtown Louisville. Since they couldn't build tall because of the nearby airport, they did what they could with it being so small, and they executed it so well. The inverting drop looks so good. I think a regular drop might be more fun, but I'm not exactly sure. And the airtime looks insane. Definitely some top tier airtime there. Can't wait to ride it. Number 39 is Wicked Cyclone at Six Flags New England. This looks like a mini Steel Vengeance. A very long ride with some underrated airtime is what it looks like. I've heard some good things about this ride, and the way it's been described, I like the sound of it. Definitely a top coaster on the East Coast. Number 38 is Abyssus at Energylandia. This is new for 2021. Become a shockwave. This POV really impressed me. This is about to be a world class roller coaster, and Energylandia may have the best big three in the world. The launch looks so forceful, the airtime looks like it hits, and the inversions have some great variety. I'm in love with this coaster without it having even opened to the public yet. Number 37 is Time Traveler at Silver Dollar City. There's just something about this ride that looks so appealing to me. That drop, the inversions, the launches, all while spinning, that is my type of ride. I love the laugh track, partly because of the theming and the outdoor factor. But this also has some solid theming, and it's obviously way crazier. This will be a great coaster without the spinning, but the spinning turns it from looking great to looking amazing. And don't forget about that 95-foot tall loop. Number 36 is Intimidator 305 at King's Dominion. Some people have this as their number one. Most enthusiasts have this higher than I do, but I'm an airtime guy, not as much an intensity guy. That drop does look good, but the rest of the ride is intense turn after intense turn. It's just not really my style. Those airtime hills at the end look fine, but they are very trimmed. And sometimes it seems like I'm an I-305 hater. Well, no, I haven't even ridden it. I can't really be too much of a hater. And it's in the 30s out of 5,500 coasters. I don't hate it. But I should say this was in the late 40s originally. But I gave it some thought and put it up to number 36. So be happy. I don't feel bad one bit. This is my list. Number 35 is Coaster to the Clouds at Nanchang Sonicland. There you go. This looks more like my type of ride. It's only one spot higher, so obviously it's not really too much more my kind of ride. But this is an intimate hyper coaster that looks like a smaller Millennium Force, but on steroids, if that makes any sense. The airtime looks very fun. It looks like sustained airtime, very sustained. And again, Taylor hasn't ridden it, so not a lot of people have a real clear opinion on it. Number 34 is Shambhala at Port Aventura. If I get some room on this coaster, this floater airtime is going to be insane. And I love when floater airtime hits, your butt gets lifted so far off the seat that you climb out. You could climb out if you wanted to. That's what I'm expecting from this ride. Everybody else thinks this is the best B&M hyper in the world. And I agree, it does look like it. It's the tallest one and overall looks like the best one. Number 33 is Der Schwerteskernen at Hansa Park. This ride looks really fantastic. Again, it's supposed to be an intense ride, but it looks to have some solid airtime moments, and the drop looks world class. That's what makes me rank it as one of the best. It's lost a little bit of hype since Taylor ranked it in the 20s, because it used to be in a lot of people's top 10, but it still is for some people. But that's not why I'm not on the top 10 hype train. It's just missing something for me, but not too much. I mean, it's number 33 again out of 5,500. Number 32 is Fury 325 at Carowinds. I mean, this thing looks like such a good time. I'm beyond excited for this one. It's probably a top 3 bucket list coaster in the US for me. That's because of the amazing airtime and drop this looks to have. It's also a long roller coaster, and it goes through 2 different states, both North Carolina and South Carolina. This is a really cool roller coaster with a cool color scheme. It looks comfortable, and it looks like the best Giga coaster in the world. Number 31 is Flying Aces at Ferrari World Abu Dhabi. Everyone knows this park for Formula Rossa, but I can almost guarantee that Flying Aces will be the best coaster in the park. It's an intimate wing coaster. It's like a less intense, longer version of Skyrush, and it looks very underrated. This is a ride that looks sort of slow in POVs, but every single time I hear someone who's ridden this talk about it, they say it's so much better than they were expecting. They said it's a world-class roller coaster, and the POVs do no justice. I'm really high on this ride, excited to get on it one day. Number 30 is Superman the Ride at Six Flags New England. This is kind of a tough coaster to judge before riding it. I know their strengths are hated a lot, but I love Skyrush, so I really don't think it'll matter much to me. This ride looks awesome. The ride looks like it'll try very hard to throw me off, and it really just looks like it's hated on way too much. It looks like an airtime machine. That's one of my favorite things about coasters, and that's why I think so highly of it. Number 29 is the Ride to Happiness at Plopsaland. This will be new for 2021. It's Max second extreme spinning coaster. I think it'll be better than Time Traveler because it's longer, the inversions will be more insane, and I'm all aboard the Ride to Happiness hype train. Not a lot of people know about this ride, but it's definitely one of the best new for 2021 coasters coming out. Number 28 is Maverick at Cedar Point. This is just an insane ride. You get everything from this ride: a world class drop, a world class launch, snappy turns, terrifying airtime, and this could be higher if Steel Vengeance didn't overshadow it. Because when riding that right before this, it makes it seem like nothing compared to that. But it really is closer than it might seem. This is one of the most insane experiences you can have riding Maverick. Number 27 is Skyrush at Hershey Park. This very well could be the craziest roller coaster out there. It's at the very least top 5. I'd bet anything on it. The drop is insanely painful and intense. The airtime is painful and extremely strong, and the Stengel dives make you feel like you're going to fall out of the ride, even with the restraints that dig so deep that your thighs are flat like the earth. This ride is extremely painful, and that's in the best way possible. If you haven't ridden this, you'll never know how this ride feels. I promise you, it's different from what you're expecting. Way different. There's nothing else like it on Earth. Also, it was my 100th coaster, so I already love you, Skyrush. The last spot for part 1 at number 26 is Untamed at Wallaby Holland. This is a pretty long coaster that has the most inversions for an RMC with 5, and it looks to have an underrated drop and awesome airtime. This is way up there on my bucket list for a reason. Untamed has appealed to me since it was announced so much. It'll probably go down as one of the more underrated RMCs out there. So yeah. Alright, that'll do it for part 1. Part 2 will be out tomorrow. If you're watching this the day of when I release the video, look at the date of this video, and the day after is when I uploaded part 2. So if you're watching this on the day after, it'll be out, so go watch it. What'll 25 to 1 be? Stay tuned to find out tomorrow at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you later.